Hello and welcome back to the studio. Great to have you back again. Now this week, or this fortnight, I think at the end of the last video I gave you a kind of a hint as to what I was doing. I said something like, he runs out of copyright. Can't remember exactly what it was that I said because I pay just as much attention as everyone else does. But what it's about is Sherlock Holmes, the great detective, is now officially out of copyright. He's in the public domain. It worked that way because the estate, Conan Doyle's estate, said they wanted to maintain the copyright right up until the final story, which happened this year. Now that, coupled with the fact that I work, or rather I produce, a comic strip for the Sherlock Holmes magazine. Now this was an editor I used to work with on another magazine, left there, started his own magazine, and we come from there. So I've been doing this now for a couple of years, and normally it's a light-hearted look at the classic Sherlock Holmes stuff. But because of the big story of Holmes coming out of copyright, we thought we'd do a cartoon based on that. So once only, that's what we did. So this video is effectively another cartoon strip being drawn, but it goes a little bit more deeper into how I do it, why I do it, and also the fact that with the colouring, I decided, this is the bit I really loved about this cartoon strip. It was a decision I made and put to the editor, and thankfully he liked. These cartoons, every single one of them, are coloured in sepia, which I thought was just a nice little touch. It's not like the bright colours I would normally do in say a comics page or a cartoon strip. Sepia, I thought, just gave it that authentic Dickensian look. So without further ado, let's go and draw the cartoon, shall we? Yes, let's do that. Oh, and like and subscribe and hit notification bells. And if you're one of those people that watches but doesn't actually subscribe, then stop watching, subscribe, and then carry on watching. And that'll be great to have you along every single time. The subscriptions are starting to go up little by little, but we're still about 250,000 behind. So yeah, subscribe. Let everyone know about us, the usual stuff. Right, that's that done. Let's go, shall we, and draw ourselves a Sherlock Holmesian cartoon strip. Right, here we go. This is the first of what I hope will be regular. I like to fill up my YouTube channel with things you can look forward to, just not one-offs. And this, I hope, will be one of them. Right, now that I've waffled and said absolutely nothing in particular, but everything in general, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I do commission work. It can be anything. It can be from a caricature to a cartoon strip to a comics page to, to anything. I'm a jobbing cartoonist, so I will do, within reason, what I'm asked to do. And one of my jobs is I produce a cartoon strip for a magazine called Sherlock Holmes, which will come as absolutely no surprise to you all, is about the great detective himself. It all came about as an editor for a magazine, another magazine I used to work for, went out and set up his own magazine, and that was the Sherlock Holmes. And whilst he was doing it, he thought, I quite fancy having a cartoonist involved. So he contacted me and asked me if I could do it, and I said yes I could, or I'd have a go at it at least. And next thing we know, I've been producing Sherlock Holmes. I don't know what number this one is, but it comes out every 2 months. There's a link in the description below for the magazine. It is an excellent magazine. See, I'm not a huge Sherlock Holmes fanatic. I mean, I like Sherlock Holmes, but my partner, as was, she was definitely into it. She'd read them all. She came from Bulgaria and read them in Bulgarian and loves them. So she loves the magazine. And now every 2 months now, I produce a cartoon, and you have to be careful with this kind of cartoon. Like if you are going to go into cartooning and you get into the specialist market, you've got to make sure that you do the right thing, because these are people who know their subjects. You can't wing it like you can in general lifestyle cartoons, like my Adam and Eve cartoon, for argument's sake. You know, I can wing a lot with that. You can't with this. So yeah, I'll be doing these cartoons every 2 months, the cartoon strip every month, going through the process, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Right, so this particular one that I'm doing for, now I'm doing this, I'll have drawn this quite a few weeks ago, because the magazine hasn't come out yet, and it's not fair to put the just like I did with Kid Kong, it's not fair to put the cartoon out on video before the customer, who is in all fairness paying for it, has it seen first. It must be seen first by them or by their readers. So when the magazine comes out, the big news, of course, with Sherlock Holmes is that he is now officially in the public domain. He's out of copyright. So although my cartoons are set in this late Victorian, early Edwardian era, I'll be mentioning it within the cartoon. That's what the cartoon is all about. And you'll see that right at the very end. And so, yeah, there you go. That's what that's going to be about. And how do I get around this now? Yeah, it's also, when we first discussed the cartoon, doing a cartoon strip, I had an idea, because the cartoons I always did for him in the magazine I worked for then was the Dalesman. That's the same cartoon, the same magazine I draw Old Wives' Tales in, which is another cartoon that I will show the production of regularly. And that was done in colour. But I thought, I don't know, I wanted it to be in colour, obviously, but I don't want it to be in full colour. And I'd done a cartoon strip once where I depicted the Victorian era. And I'd done it, I coloured it in sepia, various shades of brown, shall we say. And it really looked nice. So I suggested that. And the editor said, absolutely, give it a go. So I did, and he liked it, and that's the way it's been ever since. It's been this kind of sepia, which gives it an oldie worldy effect, which I think adds quite nicely. Anyway, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I know it appears to be that I just literally repeated the drawing, but it had to be that way for this particular cartoon. It's quite an involved one. What are we doing here? I have to concentrate because that's it. His hat is on a jaunty angle. It has to look right from behind as well. There you go. There's Dr. Watson. As these are the two. That is the sleuth himself, the master sleuth, and there is Watson. I can't really say much about the joke. You have to wait till the end. You'll have to wait until the end, I think. So up until that point, now hopefully there'll be people from the Sherlock Holmes magazine who'll be coming along to see the process. It'd be nice to have you along if you are. And hello, if you are, hello, welcome. Welcome to the craziness. And they won't know what we get up to here, which is just basically drivel. I waffle. You hopefully listen. You keep coming back. I keep waffling. And so it goes round and round and round. It's also quite difficult when you're doing this because I've got to concentrate a certain amount. There you go, it's a quick tree for you. And we'll have, because this is what's happening, the copyrights come out. So you've got a bunch of people now doing Sherlock Holmes stuff. All his magnifying glass or his pipe or what have you. It'll all become apparent when you see the words. But if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, go along to the website and have a look. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Like I say, I like Sherlock Holmes. I do. I've watched just about all the movies. I've not read all the books, although I did get the audio tapes by Stephen Fry, and I was enthralled with them. They were really, really good. So I do like Sherlock Holmes. So, but you know, so I can appreciate the fact that this was a very, very good site, a very professional site, a professional magazine. I mean, I wouldn't think anything less of it. I mean, he's a very professional editor. But yeah, go along and have a look at it. See what you think. And if you like it, then subscribe. Comes out every 2 months. And it's all things Sherlock Holmes. And where are we going with this now? Shall we have him? Shall we have him with a pipe? Yes, let's have him with a pipe. No, we won't. We'll have him with a, because he's looking. He's looking for something. So I'll have him with a magnifying glass again. Or another one with a magnifying glass. I'm just roughly putting this in. When I come into the inking, it'll be a bit more specific. Never a good word at the best of times. Some good old Victorian railings. Bushes, small bushes here. Perhaps a tree. Just to signify what's going on. That's all. Little bit. Where else can we have someone? Let's have someone poking out from behind here, shall we? There, we'll have the pipe. The arm, yes, put that there. This is much more involved than I normally do, but there was no way around it with this particular cartoon. It had to be so. You see, I've only put a few bricks in here. That will change when I come to inking it in. To me, this is just a guide, so as I know what's going on. So I've done quite a few cartoons over the years, specialist ones for various magazines. The strangest one I think I did, because I knew absolutely nothing about the subject at all. and yet I still managed to produce, I think, some 60 or so cartoon strips on it. And it was for model aeroplane enthusiasts. And I think it was just called Model Aeroplane Monthly. And yeah, I managed to produce all those cartoons for us over a period of time. And eventually, I think it just fizzled out. I don't actually know what happened there. So drawing cartoons on a specialist theme can be very rewarding, but you do have to do, once you've got it, you've got to, it's harder to write those jokes than it is to write, say, for just a general newspaper. Yeah, it's a bit more. Another Sherlock. I'll do this. I don't know whether this will show up on the actual cartoon, but if you look close enough, he's studying a spider. And this is going to be, actually, yeah, just throwing a bird up there for him to be looking at. This is going to be a one for the true whodunit aficionado. This little illustration I'm doing, I've just literally thought of this. Anyone can work out the connection. Not necessarily just with Sherlock Holmes, but with crime fiction in general. Right, I think that should be enough. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. So there we go. I'm now just going to go and put the word balloons in, and then we'll get to the inking. See you in a minute. Right, now, as you can see, I've done the borders, I've done the panels. Now I guess it's straight in with the inking. In with the brush. I work on a very nice smooth paper. I don't know what it is. I get my photocopies done on it. I really quite like it. So I asked him if he'd get me some, and he said yeah. And I've been using it ever since. It's a really smooth surface. I mean, a lot of artists use Bristol board for their cartoons, and it's the same feel, only it's in A4. You can get it in A3, but I prefer it in A4. Right, now in this original I had him talking, but when it came to me putting the word balloons in, I realised that I didn't want him talking in this panel, so I shall just ignore the pencil lines for that. This happens sometimes in a cartoon, and you just change it accordingly. I mean, besides that, I mean, I could, you know, put the mouth in now, and then at some point when it comes to colouring it, I can think, oh no, actually, I don't want him speaking. So I just remove it in Photoshop. There. Yeah, the Sherlock Holmes I decided to do was very Basil Rathbone-y. I know there's plenty of Sherlock Holmeses out there. The most recent one, what's his name? Cumberland Cumberbatch or something? I don't know. Guy who plays Doctor Strange anyway. Him. And he's very good. He certainly brings a unique twist to it, I think. But Me, I was brought up on old Basil Rathbone and the Hound of the Baskervilles and all that. Who was your favourite? Did you even watch it? All the old TV series. It makes you wonder how many of these programs they've actually done. How many Sherlock Holmes variations, and do they do them in different countries? Like imagine in somewhere like Japan, rather than just dubbing. I don't mean overdubbing the language. I mean, yeah, they've done that everywhere, but I mean actually getting their actors to play the part. I wonder how many countries have had that. Huh. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I can't Google as I'm drawing. But if you know the answers, let me know. Write it in the comments below and we'll all ignore it. Bit of a splodgy bit at the top of the nose there. Come on, Dixon, what are you playing at? Don't mess around again, there's the old chap. I don't know who that voice is, but I use him a lot lately. Maybe he'll be a character. Maybe he'll be part of the YouTube channel. Normally I'm not talking over this bit, am I? Normally I'm speeding it up and going extremely fast. I might have put a bit too much splodgy ink on there. It's getting quite dark outside, so it's difficult to see how far I'm dipping the brush into the pot. I mean, it's black ink on the dark skies, you know, it's never going to end well. You getting these brush techniques? I talk about them, don't I, a bit, and I'll talk about them probably a bit more now within the next pattern. When I do this picture, we will zoom in and I shall show you exactly what I mean. The beauty of drawing with a brush. I love it. Like I say, I can draw it with most things. I can draw with a pen, dip pen, micron pens, all sorts of stuff, brush pens. I can do all that. But I really enjoy the brush. Okay, we're going in, chaps. You start off by just touching the paper, and as you bring it down, you put more pressure on the brush. And you get this lovely thick and thin effect that you can't get with anything else. I mean, I've used brush pens, but you just cannot get this effect with them. At least I haven't been able to up until now, and I've tried. Yeah, tried very hard. Now, there are people that say when you're drawing characters in the foreground, make the lines thicker, and the people in the background, make the lines thinner, because they do shout. I've noticed that all the youngsters on YouTube shout a lot. But I don't subscribe to that. You can get just the same effects. If you want to bring a character forward, as it were, you can do that with the colouring. You can literally, all these characters in the background could be shades of, I know they are in this particular cartoon, but I mean, if you're doing a full colour cartoon, they could all be shades of blue or something like that. And these characters could be flesh tone and all the various colours. That would automatically bring it forward. But with the fact that they're bigger than every other character, that does it itself. So That's my bit. I wouldn't necessarily listen or take everything you hear as gospel, me included. And I'm just an allegiance. You know that. We discussed this before. But that's my 2 penneth worth. Is that the phrase? Do you like him? Is he as you'd expect a Sherlockian to be? If we have got any Sherlock Holmes fans in, anyone who came over from the magazine, be interesting to hear your take, because you've been seeing the cartoon since the magazine launched. So you've seen the character develop, or my rendition of him develop. And when I found out that he'd gone out of copyright, I did think, I wonder whether I might do something with that. I might do a Sherlock graphic novel or something. I don't know. But a humorous one. Not disrespectfully. I mean, I don't do that. I respect the fact that Sherlock Holmes is an icon of British literature. But, you know, a little bit of jocularity, a bit of fun. Mad Comics did it wonderfully. Did they call him Shamrock Holmes or something? I forget what it was. The Kiddies Comics did one as well. They did a version of him. Anyway, if I decide to do it, I'll let you know first. It'll be on here. And if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, I dare say if I did it, then the Sherlock Holmes magazine would probably be interested in looking at it. Right, I'm just going to, probably because this is going to take a very long time to do. So what I will probably do is, once I've finished Watson here, I'll draw this character that I mentioned before, so it's a bit clearer as to what he's doing, and then you can tell me in the comments below what you think the reference I'm alluding to about all things who done it and what have you. So you can work out what it was that I was, little pointer I'm making. Get your little, I was going to say, grey cells working there, but that's that was Hercule Poirot, or whatever his name was. Wrong detective. Okay, here he is. And then once I've, like I said, once I've done this, I'll just speed the rest of it up. Unless there's something relevant I want to say. And we all know there's nothing relevant comes out of this mouth. Originally, when I drew this cartoon, or when I roughed it out, I was going to draw them all like him. But at the last minute, I thought, no, I think it would be better if they were all just people pretending to be him. So they're dressing like him, but of course they're never going to be the great Sherlock Holmes, are they? Have you worked it out yet? Answers in the comments if you have. There's no actual prize, but I'll give you an honorary mention in the dispatches. I bet all you Sherlockians out there have worked it out. Okay. That's pretty much him. Okay, I shall now maintain radio silence, speed up a little bit, and get the cartoon done. I guess before I speed up, I have to go through the usual motions of saying, if you enjoyed this and you like content like this, or you'd like to see me doing other things, then, well, if you want to see me doing other things, then let me know in the comments below, and I shall endeavour to do just that. I shall endeavour to please. Yeah, I'll do my best. But in the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe. Whilst you're hitting things, go for that notification bell. It helps the algorithm of YouTube. The great Google that needs to be fed. And I will see you in the next video. I'll probably have a little chat at the end of this anyway. But I shall see you in the next video. So up until the point I next speak, have fun. Enjoy the speeded up bits. And there you go. Oh no, it's not finished yet. Once I've got the pen in my hand and the brush in my mouth, I just put the tops on all these, and there we go. Another cartoon strip ready to be scanned, coloured and sent. Hope the customer enjoys it, hope the readers enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, come back next time when we'll be doing something else. Like I say, I have no idea what, I never have, but I'm sure it'll be silly or a bit of fun, or if I'm really lucky, or if you're really lucky, it might even be informative, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Until then, see you next time, and thank you very much for coming along. Bye for now.